Welcome back to another episode of Jacques in the Garden. Today we are in the Hermit's Kitchen, the outdoor cooking experience, and you guys asked for it, I'm here to deliver. We're going to be fermenting cabbages, the Bulgarian way that my parents taught me. But, you know, it wouldn't be the same without a little bit of assistance, and also I need a couple of cabbages, so let's see who we could find laying around out here on the streets.
Cabbage Daddy here.
All right, you got two wonderful globes.
Freshly grown. I took them from my garden because, you know.
I was gonna say, there's two we could grab over there if we want.
We all remember last year. You know.
Hey, some big boys.
I'm honored to be in the Hermit's Kitchen.
Yes.
And I'm honored to learn the recipe of your ancestors.
The nice thing is that it's really simple. I think it's probably the easiest version of a fermented cabbage, at least I've ever seen. And we got a little gift this Christmas, so I figured let's put it to use.
Wow, this thing is, I'm jealous. This thing looks really cool.
Actually, inside there's like the weight stones too, so.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right, let's do this.
All right, so with this recipe, it's really just cabbage, salt, water, and then this little guy's a little bonus you'll see in a minute here.
An apple.
That's it.
Okay.
And trust me.
Does it have a name?
Kisel zeli, which just means sour cabbage in Bulgarian.
I'm interested. Let's go.
Here's the thing that's a little bit different about, I'd say, Bulgarian style or Eastern European style, I'll say loosely, gives everyone else a little credit, is that, you actually ferment the cabbages whole.
Really?
Cases.
Oh, okay. So you don't do the fine dice.
You don't do fine dice at all. So the only thing you need to do if you want to work on that one is take out some of the outer leaves. Sometimes they're just dirty, especially if you get in the grocery store. Hermit's Kitchen, no rules, do it right outside like that, no problem. And the idea is that you want to take off some of these outer leaves that are like the darker green. When you're picking cabbages, here's another little tip for you guys. You want to give them a good squeeze, and they want to feel really tight. If they feel loose and airy when you squish them, they're not going to ferment very well. So look for that if you're trying to buy them at the store. Now, the other thing is you can look at the base to see how fresh it is. So all I'm going to do now is take this knife and just give that a trim. We're going to just trim it so it has a nice fresh bottom of the core there. And you're going to go in and cut an X straight down that core. So you're trying to get in there, you don't want to go all the way through, and then you're going to flip it and do the other side. So with this, what you'll see is I have a couple things out here. I have some salt. We want to make sure it's like kosher sea salt, but not iodized salt, because that will actually inhibit the fermentation. So this one should be good. This is sea salt.
Yeah.
The other thing we have is water. Now here I have exactly a gallon, and here I have, I think it was 20 quarts. And this is the only thing you really have to pay attention to when you're measuring. We'll have a whole cabbage here. That's going to just go in straight in. So if you want to just toss
Should I take these little weights out?
Oh, yeah, actually, that's a good call.
Okay, we'll take these out. Oh, it's kind of like musty in there.
Let me try this one first, because if this one fits whole, this one has less like issues. Okay.
Ah, we're good.
So I'm going to throw that one in, and let's cut that one up. Like I said, we like doing the whole, but another fun option is actually to cut it into wedges. Get these quarters going.
No layout tips, just kind of pop it in.
You want to make sure that it's filling up the space as evenly as possible.
Okay.
Because any airspace is going to be filled with water. So you don't want the cabbages like loosely stacked. You want
Take
to
a peek
fill in.
at my little arrangement.
That looks great.
It's pretty good, right?
Now what we need to do is keep track of how much water we're going to put in.
Okay.
So you could set that guy there. So this is filtered water. The cool thing about this system is that it has an airlock. So now what we need to do is like a little bit of math. So we have 20 quarts. Let me double check. There's a line in here somewhere. Oh, sorry, 20 cups, which is 4 cups and a quart, right?
I think. Hey, it's called the Hermit's Kitchen, not the perfect kitchen.
So here's the short answer is, let's just call 20 cups is close enough to 5 liters for me. And that means we need 5 times 30, which is
120 grams.
All right, let's just go with liters, guys, because I don't know.
So you're going to 180 grams.
Yeah, 175.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
Oh,
go.
wow, on the dot. So in?
So now you're gonna go on the heat.
Yeah.
So the reason why we're doing this, and that's why I want a little extra on the salt to accommodate for this water, is that you don't want to heat up the entire water, because then it's gonna be like
then it'll cook.
Then you have to wait for it to cool. You can do that if you want, but then you have to wait for it to cool. We're gonna just let that fully dissolve. Once that's fully dissolved, we'll mix that back in with the rest of the water, and we'll have that appropriate salt solution. So what I've done is I've cut off the bottom and top of the apple just to get the weird outer part, because that's unclean. I want to make sure that I only keep the outside of the skin I cleaned well, but I'm gonna just remove this core just because that's been exposed to the air. So the point of the apple here is to actually kickstart the ferment.
Oh.
The little bit of sugar's in there.
Oh, that's the point. Okay, that makes sense.
So the deal is though, you could add an onion also at the start. The onion will help impart a little bit of flavor and also add a little bit to the fermentation. You could also traditionally add like a quince, a pear.
Quince is just a weird apple.
Yeah,
basically.
It's an apple you don't want to eat fresh.
Yeah.
But I've had some good stuff made out of it.
Yeah.
So when you put this in, you're actually going to be removing it after a couple days.
Okay.
So
just the initial sugars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
After we set this up, I'll record some updates showing like what it looks like after a few days, removing the apple, but we'll get to that next. Before I got one of these for Christmas, I was just using these Cambros. They make them also in like a white version that lets less light in. The less light you get into your ferment, the better. But this is a totally valid alternative. It's just a plastic Cambro bucket. Instead of ceramic weights, you just use a clean plate and you put it on top to weigh everything down.
Got it.
So that's traditionally how I've done it, but I got this, so we're definitely gonna use that.
This is the true cool dude way to do it.
What I will say though is traditional, this is seared into my childhood memory, is that my parents would actually do this in coolers, like, just a regular...
Like an igloo cooler or something?
Cooler.
Yeah.
And once you ferment in that, you ain't ever cleaning it out again. That thing's gonna
You're not having a park night,
no.
park party.
That thing's gonna be a whole different level of smell there.
Did we go in? Just dump it in?
I think I'll take out the cabbages just so we don't like scald them, I guess.
I dodged the cabbage.
Perfect. There's enough water in there that I'm not really too worried about it.
Okay.
But yeah, that's not hot.
Apples in?
Apples in, good call.
Weights?
Weights.
Okay. These are cool.
I know, these are
never really
cool. And it says that they're dishwasher safe.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
A big old piece of ceramic.
It's hard to... Okay, there we go.
Yeah, you got it. No, you got it.
So we might need to add more water if
I'll
they
complete
don't fully
the
submerge.
No, they're in. They're in.
The stones are submerged too.
Okay.
So the idea is that anything that's floating to the surface can get a little weird because it'll get exposed to oxygen.
Yeah.
Exactly. So all we're gonna do now is we'll throw that guy on and I'll activate the water lock here. And all that does is it creates a barrier so like nothing can get under into it, but if gas comes up, it could still escape.
Bubbles off. It's actually kind of like the kraut source that we have.
Yeah.
That we used to have.
Just like a giant
pops out. Yeah.
Yeah. So now the next thing you need to do is place this somewhere that's out of direct light. The coolest part of I do it outside personally because I'm not trying to get any of that funk indoors. But if it goes well, it shouldn't really smell that bad at all. So you could just put it somewhere like your garage. But I'm not selling it very well right now.
It's a big if it goes well based on what we just did.
What we did is totally legit. This is probably cleaner than anyone's ever done it before. So all you need to do is keep it somewhere dark, somewhere cool, the coolest, darkest place you have.
Yeah. So on a scale of 1 to Bulgaria, like how well did we make this?
I think we nailed it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like this is like a little bit extra.
Yeah.
It should be like an ancient cooler. That's,
You're
not sure if it's clean, but it's probably clean enough. But this will probably be better than usual.
I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully not in the hospital after I have a bite.
It's safe, it's safe. All right, my friends, it's been 4 or 5 days since we started this.
Little kraut spoon?
A little kraut spoon. And it's time to remove the apples, basically.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, because that's just the initial food?
Exactly. It's the initial like sugar kick for all the active stuff in here to get going and hit it. It smells like it's fermenting.
Oh. That smells like what I left in...
It smells like a little bit of apple and a little bit of something else.
It smells like under my bed when I was a teenager or something, like the little snacks you'd throw under there, you know?
So the apple is definitely getting a little interesting there.
So here's a question. Yeah. Should I give it a bite?
If you want to hit it.
What do you think it's going to be like?
It's probably going to taste salty.
Really? It almost tastes like a caramel apple without the caramel.
It does kind of have that vibe. I think that little bit of salt. I don't know if I'd eat it, the whole thing. But
just give me an hour. I'd put that down. So we're just removing this and that's it. Just checking.
Yeah, basically. And then, so this is a hand-carved cherry spoon that I made. And give it a nice vigorous stirring.
Okay, so it's stirred up.
So that's basically it now. So from this point on, what I'm gonna do is try to get this back in. Cover everything up again. And we wanna make sure that, that way it slipped. We wanna make sure that everything is covered again. So it's not all floating at the surface here.
Yep.
And that's it. So the first couple days are really the most important to stir it. I stirred it like once over the weekend and that's it. Once we're at this stage, all we need to do now is wait. And got the little airlock, bubbled.
Give the chickens a little salty apple treat.
All right, so another week, 2 weeks probably for those wedges that we cut, and we should have a little taste test. It's been an undisclosed amount of time since we started this cabbage ferment. In the first batch, something went wrong. We don't know what. Everything was done perfectly, so there's no reason to suspect it was our fault. But I had reset it, and I found a nice, cool, funny looking place for this cabbage. So I want to get Kevin's reaction to my cabbage storage solution here. So let's see if he could actually make himself available. And here he is. So what do you think?
I'm ready to eat. I'm ready to eat this weird cave cabbage.
Yeah, this is my own homemade cave out of plywood.
I'm scared of this, honestly.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I did a little taste sniff.
Yeah?
And a little taste test.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Okay,
let's go ahead.
Shall we carry this thing? It's probably pretty heavy, huh? Oh my God.
Honestly,
You want me to get it?
can you get it? Let's check that out.
Woo, boy.
It's got some heft.
That's hefty.
It's got some heft.
Oh, boy.
This cabbage was actually made with one of my giant cabbages.
Yeah.
The cabbage is bigger than this plate, so you just have to believe me here, but why don't you crack it open? It wasn't that bad.
I smell some apple, like last time.
But it wasn't, like what surprised me, not that funky. All right, here we go.
Oh boy.
So I mean, it still looks like cabbage.
It
Right?
does, yeah, it doesn't look disturbing.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. This is how we do it at home, at least how my parents have showed me.
Bulgarian?
Yeah, Bulgarian style, all the way through.
It doesn't smell bad.
It doesn't
smell bad.
So let's do a first taste.
Blind taste.
I'll do it first.
No, I'll go in,
Right.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's pretty like straight up cabbage.
Yeah, it tastes like cabbage, but it's like a little sour.
A little salty. Yeah, definitely salty.
Yeah, but it's preserved, so that's great. So here's what we like to do. So take your cabbage, and we're gonna just cut it into strips here. Nothing fancy.
Yeah, just like chunks.
Yeah, just chunking it. And then it's like the easiest salad in the world.
Okay.
One of my favorite treats, honestly. So here's the recipe. It's actually really good for you because this is fermented, so it's probiotic. Take some delicious olive oil. Next step, paprika.
Yeah.
Usually a sweet paprika. And something about this combination here.
Oh my God. That's some heavy paprika. That's some heavy.
It's not that heavy. It's not that.
That's a lot. Okay.
Now I want you to
Is this it?
That's it. That's it. It's a salad.
All right. Let's go in.
Get like a nice little paprika scoop here.
If you're like this guy right here, that's good. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Cheers.
That olive oil
pretty good.
with the paprika and the sauerkraut or the fermented cabbage.
Because the olive oil cuts down on the acidity,
Yeah, you get that kind of.
and then the paprika lifts it.
Yeah.
Right. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I can
it's
eat
actually
a
pretty
whole
good.
plate, like triple this every time. Like,
I almost feel like, for me at least,
yeah.
you could toss something a little sweet on there, like a little like light honey maybe. I don't know, something like that, or some fruit. Oh, hot honey. That would be good.
But I mean, look at that.
I mean, this is. I'm going in for another bite.
I know.
And you didn't tell me to.
I didn't say you could. Simple recipe.
Wow.
You just don't have to screw it up the first time. I think what really happened the first time, if I'm being honest, 2 factors. Cabbage wasn't fresh enough. The fresher, the better. Number 2, it might have sat in the sun too much where I left it, which is why I built its little hermit cave there.
And this is the rest. So you could just leave this in here for a little bit longer, not forever, right?
You could leave it in there. It'll just keep getting more sour for a couple weeks now. But this.
So what are you gonna do? You're gonna like chop and prepare it into like
I'll probably eat it all like this. Yeah. Another thing I like to do is chop it up like that and then bake beans with it.
Oh my.
Then you get like that intense fermented cabbage with a ton of olive oil and the beans, and they get, actually, I might do that for dinner. I might do that for dinner. I just told myself.
Yum.
But simple recipe, in my opinion, one of my favorites, and also a great probiotic.
Yeah, I approve.